Hi everyone and welcome back to Nirvana Counseling Practice. As you may have noticed, I'm not in my usual setting at home. My family and I are on holiday and I felt drawn to record this video right here on our apartment balcony overlooking Coolangatta Beach. I love recording outdoors where I feel calm, grounded and deeply connected to nature. Being near the ocean really helps regulate the nervous system, and the rhythm of the waves really reminds us, our body, that it's safe to slow down. And what could be more soothing than listening to the sound of the waves right in front of me? And I also believe that nature has its own way of holding us when we need a little more peace and calm. That being said, let's bring our attention to what I want to talk about today: PTSD and trauma after a cyclone. In my previous video, we talked about the emotional impact of Cyclone Ditwa and how deeply it has affected people across the country, Sri Lanka. Today I want to talk about trauma and PTSD, not to scare anyone or to label anyone, but to help you understand what may be happening inside your body and your brain after such a frightening experience. Also, it's important to talk about trauma because the cyclone doesn't end when the wind stops, or the rain stops, or the flooding, or even the landslide stops. The emotional and the psychological impact often continues even after the physical damage is repaired. So what is trauma? In Greek, the word literally means a wound. It referred to a physical wound, something that injured your body. Over time, the meaning expanded to include psychological or emotional wounds as well. So today when we talk about trauma and mental health, we often refers to an emotional or psychological wounds caused by overwhelming experiences. Many of us think that trauma is what happened to us, the event itself, in this case the cyclone. And because of this belief, many people feel that trauma cannot be healed, almost like a life sentence. If trauma were simply what happened to us, then yes, there would be no healing, because we can't go back and change the past. We can't change the fact that the cyclone happened or any other painful events occurred. We can't rewrite history. But here's the good news: trauma can be healed with the right care and right support. You know why? Because trauma is not what happened. Trauma is what happened inside us as a result of what happened. I know this can sound a little confusing, so let me say it again. Trauma is what happened inside us as a result of what happened. When we go through trauma, what's happening inside our body and our brain? What we experience fear, hopelessness, helplessness, guilt, shame. And that's a trauma. And that's why there is hope, because trauma is a wound and wounds can heal. Trauma is a wound sustained inside the body and mind, and wounds can heal. Healing doesn't happen by rewriting history. Healing happens from the inside with safety, support, and care. We can change how we respond to it, how we process it, and how we integrate it into our life. Two people can go through the same trauma, same cyclone. One may recover quickly and one may struggle for a long time. That doesn't mean one is stronger than the other. It simply means that the nervous system learns to protect them in different ways. If you are someone going through trauma, I want you to talk to someone you trust, because talking helps bring those hidden wounds into awareness where healing begins. Unspoken trauma can always get stored in your body and your brain when trauma isn't talked about. And the nervous system always stays in survival mode: fight, flight, freeze, and the fall. Stress hormones always remain high, cortisol and adrenaline. And the brain always keeps scanning for danger. This can lead to anxiety, sleep problems, irritability, body aches, and emotional shutdown. Talking helps the brain to realize the danger has passed and I'm safe. So let's talk about PTSD. PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. It can happen when the body and brain stay stuck in survival mode even after the danger has passed. Some common signs of PTSD can include flashbacks or replaying the cyclone in your mind all the time, nightmares or difficulty sleeping, feeling constantly on edge or jumpy, avoiding rain, storms, cyclone, any kind of news related to cyclone, feeling numb, disconnected, or not feeling yourself. It's a brain trying to protect you after something overwhelming. So why the brain reacts this way? During Cyclone Ditwa, the brain's alarm system switched on to keep you alive. The emotional part of the brain, the amygdala, reacts very fast to danger. When this part takes over, the thinking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, goes offline. That's why you may panic easily. You may struggle to concentrate. You may feel unsafe even when things looks calm. For some people, that alarm system doesn't turn off right away, and that's where trauma symptoms come from. So what are the real life examples of trauma responses? You might notice feeling anxious whenever it rains, your heart racing whenever you hear loud wind or any loud noise, feeling emotionally numb or withdrawn, getting irritated or angry very quickly for no reason, and feeling guilty for surviving when others suffered. These are normal responses to an abnormal event. Trauma experts tell that the most effective treatment for trauma is connection, because connection is the opposite of trauma. When people feel seen, heard, and supported by family, community, or professionals, the nervous system slowly learns that it is safe again, and that's very important to someone who's recovering from trauma. Healing doesn't happen by forcing yourself to be strong. It happens through safety, compassion, love, and understanding. So now let's talk about normal stress versus PTSD. It's very normal to feel unsettled, fearful, or emotional in the weeks after a disaster. PTSD is when these feelings last for a long time, become stronger instead of settling, and start affecting daily life, sleep, work, or relationships. And remember, not everyone who experiences trauma develops PTSD, and even when PTSD does occur, healing is possible. Because the brain is capable of change. The nervous system can always calm down, and people can feel safe again. In the next video, I'll explain how trauma affects the different part of the brain and why understanding this can help reduce shame and support healing. That's all for today's video, guys. If this video was helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nirvana Counseling Practice. And remember, you are not broken, you are responding to something that was overwhelming. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.